to the Excel English podcast. I'm Mina, I'm an English teacher, and I'm a camera lover.
Hello, I'm Marilou, I'm an English teacher, and I am a nostalgia lover.
This is an educational podcast where you can learn English light and easy.
Please check out our YouTube account for videos and vlogs with Japanese translations.
英会話教室 Excel English の無料体験を受けたい方は Excel English で検索してね。If you'd like to practice English speaking with us, be sure to check our website exl-english.com for a free trial lesson.
Wow, that was so good.
I actually didn't know if I ever said that, but anyway. Just
All
brushing
right.
it off.
Well, so today our introduction is quite interesting.
Yes, it's all about memories.
Memories, indeed.
So I mentioned earlier that I am a camera lover. So actually, I don't have a lot of cameras with me. I only have one camera, but all my life, I think since I was little, I've been interested in capturing memories, taking photos. As soon as I had my first camera phone, I never stopped taking photos anymore.
Yeah, I remember back in the university, you had this digital camera.
Yeah,
It's a black one, right?
No, it was a silver one. Yes.
Yeah. So I would always see her with that camera taking photos, selfies. It's not even called selfie back then.
That's
just
right.
yet.
Yeah, it was Selka. Back
Wait.
then for K-pop fans like us.
We call, Koreans, and we also called it Selka. And she always had that camera.
Yeah.
Where is it now?
I don't know where it is now, actually. I might have dropped it and totally destroyed it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then, since I can remember, I've been taking photos. And in one of the previous episodes, I've mentioned there that I'm a memory hoarder.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so it's kind of, it's kind of an allusion to that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a big documenter. I'm that friend who documents everything.
True, that is so true.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you only have one camera. I think you have another one, which is an Instax.
Oh, yeah. I also have a Polaroid, like an Instax. It's not a Polaroid per se, but it's an Instax camera where you can take a snapshot and then print it immediately.
There you go. You're such a visual person. Like you love anything or things that are you can see the things that you can see, right?
That's
like
right.
Photos,
I know.
most especially.
Yeah, probably it's also as a result of me feeling anxious that I would forget that moment. Yeah, because I want to preserve that moment, so I feel like I have to take a photo of that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so nice. Yeah, it's
coming from a dark place.
Although we were wearing something really bright today, it's white. But you sound so down.
Deep down, it's really dark in there.
Oh, scary. But anyway, thank you so much.
Tell me
for
about
sharing
your love for nostalgia.
Nostalgia, yes. So I am taking everything now that has to do with memory. Well, I really love, a good trip down the memory lane. But what I usually do, or how I do that, is that I go to YouTube and search for the songs that I enjoyed listening back when I was maybe in elementary or in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so YouTube is the closest thing we got to a time machine now.
That's right, yes.
I do like, I like recalling things by listening to music.
That's right.
So if Teacher Mina here loves her photos, I do love my music. So YouTube is it's just an amazing platform.
Yeah, she's on YouTube 24/7.
That's so true. That is so true, actually.
You are?
No, I always
just a joke. Okay.
Yeah, when I log in on my computer, of course I log in I'll search the most important sites first, but there's also this tab for YouTube.
For YouTube, okay. Understand. Okay. I think everyone can relate to that. Yeah.
There you go. So, anyway, today what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about memories and things that you remember. Or things that
memories bring back yours.
That's a good song. The title of that song is actually Memories
by Maroon 5. Okay.
All right, so what I'll be doing is I'll show Teacher Mina and then you guys as well photos, and then tell me what you remember or what you're being reminded of when you see these photos.
Okay.
Let's start with this one. Okay.
What's that? First. Oh, these are cassette tapes.
Okay, cassette tapes.
Oh my gosh. Cassette tapes remind me of my first grade.
Okay.
I guess.
What sort of cassette
my
tapes?
Childhood. It reminds me of my childhood.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. So, because my mom, her siblings, her brothers and sisters, used to live with us. And probably when I was little, so they were in their early 20s. And so they were very into music and listening to a lot of music. So we had a menagerie of cassette tapes in the house. It's towering in our house. Yeah. So it reminds me of those times when I was so little and I could see stacks of cassette tapes which I couldn't reach.
Do you still have those?
I don't know where they are now. I think they're gone.
Oh, that would be so sad.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to keep them. Although if it would be better if you have the player. Do you still have a cassette player at home?
I don't. I have no idea. Do you still have it?
It must be broken.
Okay.
Already.
It's a display, just a display in your home. An interior.
So.
An aesthetic. Okay.
It is an aesthetic now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
What was your first cassette tape? The first cassette tape that you bought.
I feel a little bit of embarrassment.
The first cassette tape that you buy basically dictates how you're gonna lead your life.
Okay, I remember
in the long run.
So I asked. My dad was so nice. I remember telling him that I wanted this cassette tape so much. It was by. It is a cassette tape, an album of a Filipino singer.
Okay, got it.
Her name is Jessa Zaragoza.
Oh,
Jessa Zaragoza. I don't know. Zaragoza.
I think it's Z. Yeah, Jessa Zaragoza. Okay,
something like that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm such a diva.
Yes, you are. Yeah, drop dead diva.
So I asked him to buy that for me, and he did. Aww. He was so sweet. That is the most memorable cassette tape I have.
Oh, wow. Jessa Zaragoza. Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to sing, but yeah, that was the very first cassette tape I had.
Do you care about what I got first? My first
I think I already know. But okay, let's have people hear it.
Britney Spears.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're so...
I'm not going to say that anymore. Britney Spears, yeah. I'm a Britney fan. Okay. Britney in the zone.
That's so fun. Oh, and I just remembered how how it tests your patience. Because you have to rewind. If you want to listen to the song again, then you have to rewind it, right? Yeah, so
sometimes I would use my pen.
I know.
to rewind the
whole thing, right? So kids now wouldn't understand or probably wouldn't know how that feels. We don't have, or I don't know where they sell or still have cassette tapes.
And how are you gonna play it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm totally dependent on iTunes already. I cannot imagine having a cassette tape at home.
Okay, well that was fun. All right.
Yeah, so, brings back memories.
Reminds you of your childhood.
It reminds me of my childhood. Yes.
Okay, what about this one? Ta-da! Okay.
Oh my God, Johnson's baby powder.
Okay.
It reminds me of high school.
High school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was a time when I think almost everybody in the classroom is bringing a large bottle of baby powder.
Yes, that's true.
It's kind of like the makeup of our time. I don't know.
It is a setting powder of our time.
Yeah.
Well, it is a type of powder too.
That's right. Yeah, and I remember. Oh God, I would cover myself with baby powder before going to school. I would, squeeze a bottle like on my chest and also on my back, because it's hot in the Philippines, and when you sweat, you feel like you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel fresh, and the baby powder really helps. And also you put it on your face so that you're not oily. I don't know. Yeah, so that you're not oily and you're not sweaty.
That's true.
It reminds me of high school so much.
Yeah, the same thing. It also reminds me of high school. We would share this, like, there'd be people who'd be bringing like big bottles of
powders, baby powder.
Yeah, and we'd just share it. Like the whole class would,
Okay,
even guys would ask for some, right?
Yes,
Funny.
And then there are some classmates who are very like, they wouldn't want to share their baby powder. And everybody hates that classmate.
Or some people would put it on their like handkerchief.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah, so if you want to carry it, like we don't have, like now when you bring powder, like you have like a compact powder, so you have a container for that. But before, just a cloth.
Yeah, because I thought like as a high school student, I felt like bringing a compact powder is too mature. It's too ladylike, and I didn't feel like I was already grown up then in high school. So I never wanted to buy a compact powder. But it's actually just the same.
It is, right? It's just compact.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that was fun. Okay, you mentioned her earlier.
Oh.
So, okay, let's have Brittany.
You better work. Okay. Britney Spears. Oh my gosh, it reminds me of my childhood again.
Okay.
Yeah, until now, I'm still following her on Instagram. I'm a big fan of Britney Spears.
Are you a big fan of her crop tops?
I'm a big fan of her, like, sports bra, like athleisure fashion back then. She would be wearing these sweatpants and then like her sports bra, and then just shoes, like rubber shoes. That's a Britney look. And of course pigtails.
All right. Very Skechers ad to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Isn't she a
model?
I think
so, yeah.
Brand? Yeah.
That's why I was a Skechers kind of kid too.
Wow.
Yeah, mainly because of Britney Spears.
Oh, okay.
She's a huge influence.
She is an influencer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there
Does
you
she
go.
remind you of anything?
Elementary school days.
Elementary school, okay.
We would like listen to Oops, I Did It Again and like, Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yeah.
On repeat. Like it's also every time you open MTV, it's always there. So.
You know you're a 90s baby if you know Britney
Oh my
Spears.
gosh. It's just, nostalgia is just hitting me right now.
I know.
It's so good.
And her birthday's coming soon. So there's such a long way down the road to remember.
Many
to
years.
Reminisce.
Many years ago.
Many.
Okay, now the next one would be this one.
What's that? Oh, pancit canton.
Yeah.
I love pancit canton.
I was about to say instant noodles with fried egg.
Okay.
All right. What does this remind you of?
Yeah, it reminds me of a Filipino afternoon. I love having this as a snack.
Okay.
With, by myself while watching cartoons or with my brothers.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It would be
That's so
having
cute.
pancit canton.
Oh, really? This one reminds me of university days.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite, like snacks or like lunch meals. I usually grab.
Yeah, that's where we got our nutrients, our nutrition, instant noodles and egg.
Yeah, because it would be so there. Like they would cook it for you.
Yeah,
right? You just
like
have
1
to wait.
minute, and then the noodles are still so hard. And then here you go. It's done.
It was cheap for sure, but yeah, it was also very tasty. So I loved it.
Yeah, it was good.
Back in college.
I know. Yeah. I forgot about that. That's true. I also used to have a lot of pancit canton back in university.
But I think you prefer the other pancit dish.
The
which is like
the stir-fried one.
The stir-fried one.
Yeah,
with the toppings,
the
a healthier
bihon.
version.
The beehoon.
Yeah.
In Japan, beehoon.
So good. That was so good.
Loves it.
Which was also many years ago.
Many years ago. A few years ago.
Almost a decade.
A couple of years ago.
There you go. And then the last one would be
this one. Oh, sunflowers! It reminds me of like summer in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, because back in the Philippines, like, me and my family, we never really went to parks to see flowers mainly. And here in Japan, you can see lots of flower parks. And during summertime, there would be sunflowers blooming in Zama. Yeah, so, and also everywhere, here in Japan. So it reminds me of a Japanese summer.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, also reminds me, the sunflowers remind me of when I first came here.
Oh, yeah. That was August.
Yeah, that was in August, right? So maybe the next day, we went to a field,
the
sunflower field in Zama.
Yes, and took photos there.
Yeah, I was still very shy and very self-conscious back then because it was the first few days of my stay here.
And we had to take pictures for the website.
And I was just like wide-eyed and like, oh, this is such a different place. Hits me, with so much memories. Yeah. There you go. Well, that was fun.
I remember the heat of that day. The sun was so strong that day.
Yeah. Well, that was very fun.
Yay!
Thank you for
really
sharing.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yes. Or the things that you remember upon seeing these photos. Okay. So, people's memories spring out in the open when we hear something, we see something, or listen to something like that, or anything that makes us remember or like reminds us or triggers back memories. And to talk more about this or like memories, we can use a phrase that was introduced in Teacher Mina's answers earlier. So maybe you have heard a lot. She used reminds me of, or remind me of, very often in her answers. So we're gonna take a look at this phrase and how we could use it in our conversations or in our sentences. So let's have first the pattern.
Okay.
Phrase pattern. So you have A, your subject, reminds me of B, right? And okay, so let's have an example from your answers earlier. What did sunflowers remind you of?
Sunflowers remind me of Japanese summer.
Okay, so sunflowers remind me of Japanese summer. So A here would be the sunflowers. All right, so that is your memory trigger.
The trigger. Okay.
Trigger. Like what made you...
stimulus.
The stimulus, yes, that's right. Very nice. And B would be Japanese summers. So Japanese summer. Right? So you remember Japanese summer when you saw the photo of the sunflowers.
That's right.
There we go. So you remember A because of... you remember B because of A. Right, so A reminds me of B.
Okay.
All right, there you go. And so let's have the second point, which is the number. Just like any other verbs in English. So number is taken into consideration, right, to make grammatically correct sentences. So for if your subject is singular, so for example, let's have baby powder. Baby powder reminds me of. So you have to use your remind here. You have to use S.
Okay.
For it. And
reminds me of.
Reminds me of. All right. Now for plural subjects, for example, sunflowers.
sunflowers
remind me of.
remind me of.
Without an S.
Okay.
There you go. So that's
Subject,
number.
verb, agreement.
There you are.
Mm-hmm.
And for the third part, you have the questions. If you'd like to ask someone, or if you want to use this phrase in a question, ask someone what he or she remembers when he or she sees something.
Okay.
So you can say, what reminds you of your childhood?
Okay.
You can use reminds you of, and then the reminds you of your childhood. In the example that I've given earlier. Something like that.
Okay.
There you go. Those are the three
All
things.
right. So we're going to do a short pronunciation practice. So let's practice saying the following sentences. All right?
Okay.
So first one, cassette tapes remind me of my childhood.
Cassette tapes remind me of my childhood.
Britney Spears reminds me of my childhood.
Okay.
Also.
Britney Spears reminds me of my childhood.
Okay. Sunflowers remind me of Japanese summer.
Sunflowers remind me of Japanese summer.
And baby powder reminds me of high school.
Baby powder reminds me of high school.
Yes. All right. So, yes. In English, if you want to use this phrase, which Marilou just shared to you a while back, so using the word reminds, the last sound, or the S sound, is pronounced more like a Z.
Z.
So it's like reminds.
Reminds.
All right. And then there's also me. Right. Reminds me. And then you follow that with an of. So of course, OF, the word the off, we pronounce it like of. Of, you know. It's an F, but it's pronounced as a V.
Mm-hmm. Of.
Yeah. English is a very confusing language. So then if you would like to sound more natural, so try to say reminds me of.
Reminds me of.
Okay, let's do a bit more practice.
Okay.
For our students. Let's say it reminds me of my childhood.
It reminds me of my childhood.
Okay, one more time. One more example. It reminds me of my hometown.
It reminds me of my hometown.
Okay, and then one more. Let's try once again. You can do it, guys. It reminds me of him. Right, look, concentrate. Focus here.
It reminds me of him. Of him. I'm so sorry. I couldn't do that with a straight face.
All right, so notice the blending of sounds. Okay, so it happens in most cases if you're speaking English, of course. So please try it. Please do that.
Okay.
That is it for the pronunciation practice. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, so for the last part, we're just going to do a practice, and I'd like Teacher Mina to share what she remembers when she thinks of the following words.
Okay.
I'll just have maybe two examples.
Okay.
All right, let's have the first
Two
one.
examples each?
No, just one, but two items. I'm just going to do two items.
Okay.
For one answer.
Got it.
All right, the first one is your first love.
My first love. Never dies.
Okay, what reminds you of your first love?
First love. Puppy love or real love? Which one? Because a puppy love is like when you're a kid.
Okay, puppy
right?
love. Let's
puppy love? Ew. Oh, no. Okay, wait. It reminds me of... Oh, summer. Summer reminds me of my first love.
Okay.
Yeah, because my first, kind of... It's not a romance, but like an infatuation.
Young romance.
Yeah, young romance, childish, playful kind of romance. Was during the summertime.
Okay.
So in the Philippines, we normally spend summer breaks from April and May.
Yes.
Right? So for 2 months. Yes, guys, 2 months. with no homework, okay? So we have 2 months of summer, and that's when my first love story began. Puppy love.
I feel okay. That was just so nice to listen to. All right,
okay.
Summer. Nice.
Okay, what about you, Marilou? Please answer that.
I'm gonna answer it too.
Yeah,
okay.
what reminds you of your first
koi? Okay, well, just a crush maybe.
Okay. First crush?
First crush?
You mean in kindergarten?
Because it's when I was born.
When you were born?
No,
I like the doctor, really.
Oh, the doctor. Well, let's have Jollibee.
Jollibee.
Jollibee reminds me of my first
Your
crush.
first crush. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are actually a lot of things that remind me of him, but then this
The
one
night,
is also
like the rain,
right. But
the breeze.
because I was just reminded of when we that was maybe Valentine's.
Okay.
In elementary, we were in 6th grade,
Mhm.
and they planned to have like a group date.
Elementary school kids.
Yes, we were
You
in
little
but
rascals.
The thing is, we were in 6th grade, so we were
Okay.
They planned
Yeah.
that. But so I know that I wouldn't be permitted. I wouldn't be allowed to go.
Oh.
So I just remember because I really like this
you
boy
wanted,
in
okay.
class.
You wanted to go, but you
I
couldn't.
wanted to go. Yeah.
Aww.
So Jollibee reminds me of that.
That would have
Jollibee,
been
by the way.
that would have been your one chance of happiness and love.
I don't know. Anyway, so Jollibee, by the way, it's like a McDonald's, but a Filipino
Fast food chain. Jollibee reminds me of my first word. I'm just kidding. I don't know what my first word was.
B.
Jabby.
There you go. All right, that was good. Thank you. Now let's have a
Last one.
Last one.
Mhm.
Okay. What reminds you of your first job?
Oh, my first job? Wait, reminds me. Let me see. Oh God, I don't know. So many. Wait.
Doesn't our boss remind you of your
Oh yeah.
first job?
He
Okay,
always, when I see him, I always think about my first job. No. Let me see. 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven. Okay.
7-Eleven reminds me of my first job. Okay, well, I didn't work at 7-Eleven, but there was a 7-Eleven near my first workplace, my very first workplace, and I would remember always grabbing lunch at 7-Eleven with my coworkers then. Yeah, so whenever, but 7-Eleven in Japan and in the Philippines are totally different. Like everything, layout and the products too, totally different. But whenever I go to the Philippines and see a 7-Eleven, that reminds me of my first job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, you, Marilou, tell me.
My first job. So I worked as it's not really a proper job, but it was a summer job I had.
It's an improper job.
But back in the university,
Okay.
and like the summer heat.
Okay.
It was a summer job,
Ah.
and we were out for like long hours. It would be introducing or like informing people of.
I know this one.
It was like a volunteer activity.
For the Department of Health.
Yeah.
Were you working there? Okay.
We informed or kind of like. Yes, spread information to people about AIDS, HIV and AIDS. So, HIV and AIDS actually reminds me of my first job. I don't know something. That was my first job.
Okay.
Kind of.
Interesting. Nice to see. Nice to know. I mean.
There you go. So that was so fun.
Yay.
Going back down having a trip down the memory lane. Thank you guys for staying with us and listening to our memories. All right, but what about you? Can you talk about your fondest memories with the words and phrases we learned today?
Do you want to practice more? go to our website, exl-english.com, for a free trial lesson. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.